Our world is desperately searching for answers to solving the two biggest problems, saving energy and protecting the environment. Now imagine one product that can help solve both of these problems. Presenting eeFuel from Fuel Legacy, an environmental technology company that develops and markets the fuel additive known as eeFuel. Enhanced with nanotechnology, eeFuel is easy to use, extremely cost-effective, and promotes immediate results. Cars today burn inefficiently. As gasoline is sprayed into the engine's combustion chamber, large drops of fuel are produced, drops that do not completely burn. This leads to a number of undesirable results, which include wasted and unburned fuel, carbon deposits, increased toxic emissions. Using eeFuel promotes a complete burn and cleans the combustion chamber from previous unburned fuel, adding horsepower and much less toxic emissions.
And now that oil prices have gone up so high and fuel so high, I really care about the money that I'm putting in my tank now, and eeFuel helps me with that. It helps me reduce the amount of fuel that I burn to begin with, which is a whole lot, and then it also helps from an environmental standpoint because I'm not polluting the environment, and everyone's so concerned about that. So the product actually helps on two different levels, and I'm just trying to do my part to help out.
Introducing Richard Hicks, environmentalist, chemical engineer, and co-inventor of eeFuel.
eeFuel is a fuel additive, but it's not a petroleum product. It's different because it's water-based. We've been manufacturing this product for more than 20 years. We know how to do this. It's not new technology for us. It's not something which is untried. We have lots of experience in making this kind of product. Everything is perfect to introduce this product at this time because there is so much talk about the high price of gas and the poor air quality. But as an environmental company, our main reason why we're doing this is to help start to clean the environment up. If you have clean combustion, this is where you get your power and your fuel economy. But clean combustion means you have a complete burn. Everything in the combustion chamber is burnt. You have very little exhaust emissions coming out the tailpipe. And for us as an environmental company, that's what we're aiming at. The primary reason to use eeFuel is you're going to save money. There's no better incentive to get this product out into the environment than for people saving money. The next reason to use eeFuel is it's going to keep your engine oil clean. Another reason to use eeFuel is the exhaust is cleaner, it's significantly cleaner. You're going to be cutting down all of those tailpipe gases like hydrocarbons and carbon monoxide, NOx emissions, which are extremely critical here for producing smog, and carbon dioxide, which is the primary ingredient for global warming. When you use eeFuel, all of those, every one of them is going to be reduced. This bottle is really easy to use. When you want to use it, the first thing you do is just loosen the top cap here, and then when you squeeze the body of the bottle, it'll push eeFuel up the outside of the tube and into the measuring chamber. You can see it coming up here. And when you've got as much as you're looking for, here's enough to treat 25 gallons, then you would undo the top, and before you fill up the gas tank, you would pour this in the gas tank, and then you would put the gas nozzle in the tank. And then back in the car, ready for the next treatment. One of the big things about eeFuel is you can use this in any commercially available fuel. It will work in all grades of diesel fuel, all grades of gasoline, including ethanol gasoline, reformulated gasoline, California gasoline, low sulfur, low aromatic diesel fuel, any kind of fuel, it will work. We worked out over the years, we have done the equivalent of 25 billion kilometers. That's about 15 billion miles of years of service on this product. We've never had one liability claim in all of that period because we're super careful on how we do our technology.
eeFuel has a strong 25-year track record, proven to work successfully in numerous studies throughout the world. The 2007 California State Agency long-term results revealed an average fuel savings of 18.8% with eeFuel. According to the 2006 TNO Holland official test, eeFuel was reported to be the only one with certifiable proven results. eeFuel named Best Gasoline and Fuel Additive by China National EPA. By improving your car's gas mileage by 10 to 20%, eeFuel can actually improve the environment while putting money back in your pocket. And if you choose to share these exciting results with your friends, family, and colleagues, the Fuel Legacy Company will also add to your financial freedom.
eeFuel is a microemulsion, which means it contains water. I put together a little kit here so that you can see exactly what we do and how we do it. This is California number 2 diesel fuel. I'm going to put a little of this in my mixing beaker. And my beaker has a little magnetic stirrer in it so that when I turn my machine on, it can stir up the diesel fuel. Now, I'm actually going to put some water in this diesel so you can see what happens when you don't use the eeFuel. This is what happens when you mix oil and water together. The water, which is heavier, will sink to the bottom, and you're left here with a very coarse emulsion. Coarse meaning it's got very large water droplets. You can see them, they're big enough and heavy enough. You can see how quickly they settle to the bottom. And this is bad news for any diesel engine operator, because that's going to damage their engine. Now, I have here one of the ingredients that we use to make eeFuel, and I only need one for this demonstration because it's a very simple demonstration here. I'm going to put a little of our ingredient in here. Now, what's happened here is it's shrunk down the size of the water droplets. Now, if I turned this off and stopped it stirring, it would take much longer for these droplets to settle because they're a little bit smaller. But they're still big enough to see. You can see this is cloudy. If it's cloudy, it means that the water droplets are bigger than 1,000 nanometers. And that puts them well outside the range of nanotechnology. And I'm going to keep adding a little bit more of our ingredient here. You can see that it's starting to clear. Put the rest of that in just to be sure. You can actually watch the water droplets shrink in size. As they shrink in size, this diesel fuel with all that water in there becomes clear. And the clearer it gets, the smaller the water droplets are. And you can see right now that we're pretty much clear. And just to be sure, I'm going to add some more water in here to show you what happens when something like this meets extra water. It will actually absorb the water. It will pick it up, it will absorb it, it will shrink the size down, and we will come back to being a microemulsion. Same amount. Again, I'm going to add the water in here. Now, you may notice that the water actually settles much faster because there is a bigger difference between the weight of gasoline and the weight of diesel. And the water will separate down very, very easily. You can see it spiraling down to the bottom. Adding some more ingredient in here. You can see how quickly it clears. This ingredient is more powerful than the other one, that's why that happens. And that's necessary because the gasoline is so much more difficult to emulsify. I'm going to add some more water. See how well that's absorbed? It'll just keep sucking it up. And what we've done here, we have created an emulsion which is 25% water. And this can actually be burnt as a fuel. We have used this in engines as we were developing our technology to see how well this works. Anyone that's concerned about putting water into fuel, you only have to see this demonstration to understand that we will use the water. We deliberately formulate our eeFuel because we know there's going to be water out there in the bulk tanks, in the fuel lines, in the fuel tank. And we want to actually use that. We will absorb that and make that part of our active ingredient.